edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline. This is our live studio show. All you guys and girls watching it know that. I know you're watching on Verizon 32, and a lot of friends of mine said they're on Comcast 7. So thanks to BP TV and Dave Cable. We got George on the camera. Erin Ward's back from her hiatus in Tennessee, and she's in the control room keeping us all straight and on time. Matter of fact, we almost had an emergency. Smoking Jim made it with 2 seconds, and he's on the air. So we're glad you could make it, Smoking Jim. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. We got Chip the Prophet Hayner. I don't know this guy, but did you ever see Little Z? This is little mini me Z. And he's a Bucko fan. He's been drinking Kool-Aid all day. Oh, I don't mean that, no disrespect. Smoking Jim Frazier and Zach Little Z Brenner's in the house, filling in, folks, for the 3rd week in a row, soon to be 4 weeks in a row.
Wow.
Because Chip Hayner just announced, even though he told me 2 weeks ago, that he will miss next week to have a nice birthday party with his sister.
That's how Lou Gehrig did it. You know? Lou Gehrig, what do you want? He won 2,600 games in a row. They took him out of the lineup.
But here's the difference. You guys are rope-a-doping him by switching between Chip, then Wally Pip, then Big Mike.
I can play multiple positions on the field.
All right, well, you're in the game, and we do What's on Our Mind. I'm not going to do my shameless promotions yet. When it gets back to me, I'll start promoting that stuff. So you folks will have to wait for the unicycle and a couple other things. So we'll go with What's on Our Mind. What's on your mind, Little Z?
I'll tell you what's on my mind. What's on my mind is these Penguins. They went out way too silent for my liking. You know, 2 goals.
They left
in 4
quietly in the
games.
night.
Yeah, they just laid down and just went to sleep. That's, you know, and I just couldn't believe it's such an early exit. And with that kind of lineup, to only score 2 goals in 4 games is just, it's mind-boggling.
It's a new record.
So you could blame the goalies or you could blame, you know, the defense, but they still weren't scoring any goals. So if you don't score goals...
Well, who was the goalie that helped us out? He did pretty well.
Well, Vokun, I mean, he's a 36-year-old journeyman, though. So,
He's the relief pitcher, but you know what? When you're pitching almost shutouts, I got to take the guy, and I'm a Fleury guy. I don't know what else could have happened there, Little Z. I know you're a little upset because you're a young puppy. You wanted to see back to the 92 and 91 era, you know?
Hey, I just feel like they underachieved, and, you know, the coach wasn't making the right adjustments, so... That's just, you know, startling to me.
In our Penguins segment, we'll go over all that because I was going to talk Penguins, but I'm going to talk something else. And I know wait till Chip, he's chomping at the bit here, so we'll get going, Little Z. What a nice shot of you.
Yeah, a lot of Little Z there.
You know what?
A lot of Little Z there.
Well, this isn't the Titanic, but I want to give a shout out to one of our biggest fans who come out to Sip Sports Bar last week. That was Lois Brenner. That's
Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday, Lois.
I had to give it to Little Z to do it. Yeah, I serve up those little beach balls, and he hit it out of the park. Lois, happy birthday from all of us at Pittsburgh Sportsline. Hope to see you soon at Sip Sports Bar again. And if you ever want to go out to the Meadows again, maybe we'll have a little excursion with the Pittsburgh Sportsline crew. Maybe we can get somebody to film a little bit of the action out there.
Hey, why not? Brenner Contracting sponsored.
Whoa, there's another shameless promotion. Oh, I forgot my towel.
Hey, I had to slip it in there then.
Well, you're doing pretty good there. You're welcome back next week then.
Okay.
All right, I'm
We'll
not even
bring
going to
it next
ask
week.
you. You come in. I'll bring it too. I left my binder at home. And we'll go to Smoking Jim Frazier. What's on your mind?
Hey, thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green, you got to see Levine. And when you said a shout out to a female, I thought you was going to say Jessica Danielle.
I leave that to you because not only are you the best NFL scout, but you're one of the better, if not the best, scout of models in the city of Pittsburgh. So all you future models, 18 and older, you can contact Smoking Jim Frazier.
Smooth.
Very lovely young lady, and her father was a very, very nice, nice gentleman as well.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. My spotlight player of the week this week, we're going back to the 6th round of Pittsburgh Steelers. Justin Brown, wide receiver, 6'3", 210 pounds. Now, the unique thing about Justin, Other than he jumps like a white guy, 30-inch vertical jump.
2 inches.
Yeah. Other than that, he played 3 years at Penn State. I was able to transfer to Oklahoma for his senior year, where he was one of the favorite receivers for Landry Jones, quarterback that the Steelers drafted in the 4th round. Only runs a 40 and a 4.6. Only bench presses 225, 8 reps. At Penn State, he wasn't as good as Derek Moy, who's on the Steelers practice squad. So it doesn't look like the 6th-round pick is going to excite anybody. He's not very fast. He doesn't jump very high. Experienced guy. He has about 2,000 yards, career yards, and about 170 catches. This past year, he had 79 catches for 800 yards, 5 touchdowns. And the Steelers got a few big receivers in Plexico Burress and Derek Moy. So this guy may make it on the practice squad, but don't look for too much thing to be excited about Justin Brown.
Wow, well, thanks for your insight, Smoking
Thank
Jim.
you, sir.
And if you guys want to call in to question him on any of his picks, models, superstars, NFL players, 412-831-3304.
And the quickest way to get here from Monroeville.
And folks,
Still working on it.
it's not an inside joke. It's well known. But Smoking Jim's here.
He gets here in the nick of time every week, man.
He made it, and Little Z's found a different route to come here.
Yeah.
He's
Is that
actually early.
I was on time.
I was out there as a flight traffic controller, getting Smoking Jim to come in. Chip come out. Are we doing a show? Well, Aaron Ward made it right before Smoking Jim, so we're up and going, folks.
Gotta have Aaron.
Live
Aaron,
TV, but hey, we got what's on our mind with Chip. What's on your mind?
Thank you, Alan. And, well, good evening, guys. But what's on my mind, man? Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Wow.
PNC Park is alive and buzzing tonight. Tuesday night, Jarrett Cole is making his Major League debut, the #1 pick in the draft 2 years ago. He's making his first Major League start, and a little
Good
bucko
Pirate.
here over my shoulder.
Chip, that's a good pirate.
But you know, there's a lot to be excited about with the Pirates. There's you know, they've had some injuries. You know, a couple of setbacks. Pirates are still 11 games over 500.
Right.
And, you know, from what I've been reading from some of the national writers and some of the baseball experts around the country, people seem to think that the Pirates are for real. They are definitely a legitimate Major League Baseball team, and they definitely have the horses to make a run to contend this year. You know, not for a division title, at least for a
One of
a
the
wild
two wild
spot.
cards.
You know, right now I can tell you this: the St. Louis Cardinals are just playing lights out, and I don't know how they're doing it. Well, they just do nothing but keep on winning. And you know, you look at with the Pirates; they've got like the 3rd best record in the major leagues, and they're in 3rd place in their division. You know, but I would rather have them playing in a division where 2 of the 3 best teams are above them. Because, you know, when they finally do win, they're not going to be said that it was handed to them. You know, so
Good point, Chip.
but there's a lot of excitement, and I'm looking forward to this weekend. I'll be down there to see the Pirates Friday and Saturday night. But I'm really looking forward to watching the end of the game tonight. I'm looking for Jarrett Cole to hit double digits in strikeouts in his first major league outing. So.
Hey, anybody watching the show, too bad my biggest fan Hope's in New Jersey, because we could get a report on how fast this fastball is right now.
I tell you what, his fastball has
100.
regularly hit 100 miles an hour, and it's funny. He's going in his last 3 starts in the AAA. He's gone 19 innings without giving up any runs, and basically all they have him throwing is fastballs. And now that's pretty interesting because, you know, when the pitcher gets up against the batter, you mix things up, you change speeds, you throw curveballs, sliders, keep the batter guessing. But the batters are all knowing that he's throwing a heat, and he's still keeping them from scoring. So
So he doesn't have any off-speed pitches?
he does.
They're about 6 miles slower.
What they've done with Jarrett Cole since the season started was they worked specifically on different facets of his game, developing him to get to the majors. They don't want to get him all confused trying to throw 5 different pitches. They would rather have him throw 2 or 3 pitches very well than to try to throw a bunch of junk and mess up his mind. So. They're spoon feeding him. They're teaching him how to pitch. A kid like that young, he can throw. He's a horse. There's no doubt about it. He can throw 100-mile heat. He needs to learn how to pitch, and you need to learn how to pitch in the majors, and that's what he's getting his education.
Well, I gave up free tickets to go to the Pirate game tonight to come here. But
I heard you stop by the stadium.
You know what? I almost did, but I thought James McDonald was pitching tonight.
Wow.
No. He's pitching in minor leagues tonight.
No, he's probably pitching in Indianapolis
he's
tonight.
pitching tonight, minor leagues.
Well, thanks for assisting Chip on his what's on your mind, folks. Me too. Because we'll have to talk Bucko talk a little later.
There's more Pirate talk later in our trivia section.
They're definitely.
I've got some more stuff to talk about.
They're doing it the right way, building from the bottom up. That's the way you have to do it. They got that farm system now, and if they don't trade away their best players for more prospects, we may finally get ahead.
Oh, they did make a trade.
We better
They traded.
We better go to the Pirate. We're getting too crazy here, buddy. I only have a short little what's on my mind.
Okay.
You guys covered both of my subjects. He mentioned horses. What about the Belmont race?
All right.
All right. Two of the favorites come in, and one long shot, Todd Pletcher's horse, Palace Malice. I told a guy, I was talking to my friend Little Z, I said, there's a way you can key wheel two horses. He told me there were 9 horses in the field, so I did a little math. There were 14. So if you do 2 horses on a key wheel, first and second, that's $12. Then second and third, it's $12. So for $24, you and your lucky brother could have had $900 in your pocket.
Wow.
And we're going to do a horse racing segment from now on because we got Lois Brenner. She already knows how to bet the horses. She didn't teach Little Z. So that's my little what's on my mind, because if I can help Little Z make some money, he knows how to multiply that with contracting. So.
And if you want the green,
Hold it, yeah, you got to.
see Levine.
We got some green. But I did forget my flyer with the unicycles. Dave Crack, Seneca Valley High School, Butler. Go up there July 21st to the 27th. Get tickets for the dinner. We're going to try to get Trina Hess possibly in next week. There's rumors she might be here. She's been practicing, so she might even have some gear that the unicyclists wear. She might come in here. We're going to try to confirm that. I don't know. We'll have to ask her. She's quite the comedian, so we'll find out. And now we revisit what's on our mind. And we already started to run over each other with what's on our mind, but we might as well go to it. Anybody, if you got any comments about what was said, if you want to talk about horse racing for about a minute, since you went Buccos and Penguins, we can talk that. What's Addison going to do on betting his horses here?
My brother is one lucky SOB, man, that child. He's won the lottery. He wins at the horse races, the craps table, the roulette wheel.
He won in front of me on the roulette table.
Unbelievable, man. That kid has got some luck.
Luck of the Irish.
I guess it never wore off on me. And I'm a German, eh?
Well, that's what happened. You got part of that going, so,
Well, let me ask you this. Back to Penguin Talk. We talked about the Pirates developing from the bottom up. Did the Penguins give away the farm with all the trades, or are they going to be okay?
Good point. And one of the knocks on Dan Bilesma, which his future is still up in the air. There's 2 schools of thought. Some people seem to think that the Penguins should in no way, shape, or form get rid of him. Okay, because if you look at his body of work, and Dan Bilesma, by completing this season as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins, is the longest tenured head coach for the Pittsburgh Penguins in the franchise's history.
Really?
No surprise.
But one of the things that people, talk about and say that Dan Bilesma hasn't done was he hasn't developed any young talent. They've got guys like Bo Bennett.
That's him calling.
You know what? That is Bilesma.
Chip's point right there.
Bilesma's
Where
calling.
Bilesma went wrong is you had Simone Dupre, you had Bertuzzo, like you had capable guys ready to play down in the
Some
minors.
big guys.
Some big guys too, 6'4", 6'3" guys that could skate too. They're young guys, they're fast guys, they're hungry guys, and he just failed to bring them up and put them in at a key juncture when we could have used them much.
And exactly what my point is. He hasn't developed any young talent. Now, there's also another school of thought that says, let's not forget who the owner of the Pittsburgh Penguins is. It's Mario Lemieux. Now, Mario Lemieux is responsible for more Penguins head coaches getting fired than anybody ever on the planet. Wow. Mario Lemieux never had much use for any coaches, and if you noticed when he was a player, I mean, he got Scotty Bowman fired. Scotty Bowman only won one Stanley Cup, won the President's Cup the next year, and got fired because Mario Lemieux didn't like him. Mario Lemieux has absolutely no respect or any use for head coaches.
Scotty Bowman got in there because Badger Bob died.
Exactly.
So he might not have been the coach had Badger Bob not died.
But Mario Lemieux is generally the person that pulls the strings. Now, tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, Ray Sherrill is having his season-ending press conference. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of that press conference tomorrow.
Now, my rule of thought, now I don't want to educate anybody being a black man on hockey, but my philosophy is that if you got a hot goaltender, there's nothing you can do. The guy was hot for Boston. What could the Penguins do?
He stood on his head.
Well,
here's what I think they could have done. Instead of passing the puck everywhere, I say as soon as you cross the blue line, you shoot the puck.
You send Brazil over to his hotel room before the game, and you exert some of that energy.
Send our little mini-me Z over, and he'll distract you.
Here's what the problem was with the Penguins. What the Bruins did is they stacked 2, 2, and 1, okay, in their defensive zone. So what the Penguins did real well was the long outlet passes, and that's how they got their offense started. And the Bruins put themselves in a position to intercept those passes. And, and one of the things that I noticed, and I noticed this especially in Game 4, at the end of the game, and as much as I hate Jaromir Jagr.
Oh, is he good?
He's eliminated.
No, let me tell you what this. 41 years old, he was throwing himself on the ice in front of shots, trying to block the pucks. And the thought that occurred to me, it was like the Penguins played that series like they expected to win, and the Bruins played the series like they wanted to win.
Yes.
And their desire to win that series far outweighed.
You're right in general, but then on our power play.
What power play?
Wait a second, that's why. When you're in there, why are you still passing without desperation and taking one shot within 2 minutes or more? To me, I'd pepper him there. He had a lid on that goal.
Believe me, they peppered him in games 2, 3.
Of all the shots,
you don't stop.
Alan, all the shots that were being taken. Do you have any idea how many shots the Bruins blocked before they got? Why did Tuukka Rask stop 134 of 136 shots in the series?
Right.
Because the shots that he blocked were ones that he could see cleanly, and they weren't getting deflected because they
didn't do a good job. The Bruins were collapsing. They weren't doing a good job. The Penguins of getting in front of the net and making things happen. Like I said, they just went in there like they expected to have it. And like I told you not to make the mistake of, you never make the mistake of saying, hey, we got to win this many games to win the Cup. No, you got to win one game at a time. And if you happen to win the Stanley Cup, you win the Stanley Cup.
If I'm playing the game,
one game at a time.
I'm with you. But I'm a fan, buddy. I'm a fan. And that's why I always disagree on that, because I believe in Chuck Noll, one game at a time. But if I'm playing sports, it's one play at a time. So I'm beyond what you're saying. I'm one play. So I'm not playing. I'm too old. I'm too brittle. And I like to talk. I want to be able to keep talking.
And we're all a bunch of disgruntled Penguins fans right now.
Yes, we are.
Until but it'll be interesting to see what they do.
He predicted Boston's going to win it all.
It'll be interesting to see what they do over the summer, because the Penguins got a lot of people that are going to need to be replaced. You've got.
Wait, Penguins, buddy. We're trying to get the segment here. Look. Come on, this was only revisit. Please.
We're talking Penguins.
We're only revisiting what we were talking. We already went into the goaltending. Chip, come on. That's why we're trying to do this. You'll get your chance on the Penguins. We still got to cover our SIP Sports Bar. We got all that. I appreciate what you're saying, buddy. But we already went. Look at the time here. We've got 20 after 7 here, so. We're getting a little too crazy. I at least want to get our first few segments and get Chip's trivia time in here with fiction and fact. So, and you'll see why. We got a special thing coming up here too. So yeah, so we need to get something done in the next few minutes. Well, SIP Sports Bar, we had a great crowd. We had great guests, great conversation. We had BB Flannery. We had a lot of great people. We had the supermodel. Jessica Danielle.
Woo!
We had my friend and my dad's friend, coach from Langley, Pat Carmack. We had Glenn Anderson. We had Jordan Maben. And we had Anthony Griggs. who I only gave him a couple minutes. He may be on the show next week because he has a lot of great stories. And he also was the player development director while Bill Cowher was there.
Yes, he was.
So he promised us a lot of great stories, not about Cowher. So we're going to handle some of that.
Don't come then.
Thanks, LZ. Be there at 7:30. And tonight is Campidi's night. 50 cents a slice of pizza. Don Campidi, we want to thank you for yesterday. I think Chip has to tell you one word about that, or maybe two. Okay. And Smoking Jim and I, we may be heading out there after the show for a little pizza. So
Pepperoni and sausage.
I was just going to ask what you had on there.
Pepperoni and
you never know how
sausage.
long it's going to take Smoking Jim to get back to Monroeville. So you might be stopping at a bunch of spots.
Hey, and don't forget that it's wing night on Thursday. We may be out there on Thursday for a couple wings, maybe after 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night. So anybody's welcome. We'll talk sports with you, and we'll keep going because I can't let the Penguins die either, guys. But we will get to that segment. And that's the Sips Sports Bar. It's 3024 West Liberty Avenue. Make sure you're there next week, 7:30. We'll have some great guests again there, too. Thanks a lot. And then now we have Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Hey, thanks a lot, Al Levine. I appreciate that, man. And I tell you what, just hearing the little rumors throughout southwestern Pennsylvania and really all over the world, people watching this on YouTube, a lot of people, when they hear the Fiction and Fact, are not really believing some of the people that we run into over the years. So I just thought every once in a while I'll bring in a newspaper. And this is a newspaper article that I wrote for a game that I broadcast. And my co-host for the game was an annual game that's no longer played. It was the WPIL versus the City League All-Star game. And we used to play it in December. And we used to get 5 to 10 scholarships for kids that didn't have scholarships. Wow. And it was right around the time when the WPIL was playing for the state championships. And the one year, my co-host was none other than the late, great Chuck Muncy. That's a picture of Chuck Muncy right here.
Uniontown.
In Uniontown, Chuck Muncy. And Chuck Muncy
With
had
his
a lot
glasses? Did he have his
had
glasses
his glasses on, but he didn't have his cocaine then. He was all through with that. But
should we get a picture of this? George, can you get a picture of this?
But and the one unique thing about Chuck Muncy, he was able to share with
He
me.
might try to pull that in.
During the game was that Chuck Muncy was actually finished second in the Heisman voting in 1975 to Archie Griffin. He was the third player picked overall by the New Orleans Saints in '76 behind Leroy Selman, who went first overall. And he told me that he was a basketball player at Uniontown. And he actually went to college initially to play basketball and then playing basketball and football at the University of California. But he said Uniontown was so great in basketball in that era that the great Jerry West, when he played at West Virginia, would come down to Uniontown to get some competitive games. And sometimes Uniontown would beat West Virginia's basketball team. So Chuck Muncy was just a guy that was a freak of nature before his time, a big guy, fast guy. And I tell the story that if you go into the press box in Heinz Field and down the wall heading to the cafeteria where there's free food and black cooks,
Okay.
there are all kind of huge Stiller photographs of superstar Stillers, and there's only one non-Stiller highlight photograph, and that is Chuck Muncy in the San Diego Charger uniform, and him and Dan Faust and those guys. And Chuck Muncy had great hands. So Chuck Muncy was a living legend. The late, great Chuck Muncy still had numbers, 10,000 career yards, total yards, that would get you in the Hall of Fame, but he probably would never get in. But Chuck Muncy, what a great player.
Did not the San Diego Chargers in 1981 beat the Steelers on the way to
Yes, sir.
losing the AFC Championship in the Ice Bowl?
Yes, sir.
Against the Cincinnati Bengals
And
before the Bengals lost
All for
to the,
3 yards.
And that was before because San Diego had the better record. But then, it alternated. So since they had to go to Cincinnati,
and it was 15 below.
At 15 below, had they played in San Diego and Dan Fouts would have won the Super Bowl that year. No doubt, they were the best team,
especially with Air Coryell.
But
that was the swan song of the Steelers teams of the 70s.
That's right.
Because they had won the fourth in January of 1980, and Bradshaw was still there, and Joe Green, and they were getting a little long in the tooth.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like their last hurrah, and the Chargers beat them.
Yeah, that's
remember it well.
Great recall.
Hey,
Chip, as usual.
George, you got to get a little copy of this because not only do we have Chuck Muncie on here, but I don't know. Can you get a close up of this, George? I'll hold it steady for you so they can see Chuck Muncie. I don't know if they can. But here.
Oh wow, that look George got it
there.
Looking good.
Is. George, right there. There's Chuck Muncie. So our man Smoking Jim, he might make it seem like he's not telling the truth, but it is. Now I want you to look at this. Try to get a close-up of this gentleman because he was on one of the Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim Almanac. Now, who's that gentleman?
Curtis Martin.
I think the ink is still wet on the newspaper.
You know what? Hold it.
Curtis Martin that just got elected into the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Sir.
So there you have it, folks.
Dragons.
And now we got to go to one of... And that was dry ink because, look, I'm rubbing it off on my paper.
That was good.
Okay? And I used to work in a newspaper. Hold it, wait. I can play football now. Okay? I'm good to go, little Z. One of my favorite parts of the show is, like I keep telling you, it's Chip's trivia time. And I want to tell you, this is going to be a special treat for the simple fact Chip's going to do it from recall. And when he told me that outside the studio, I thought that was awesome.
I left all my information laying on my desk at work.
When the wife goes away, he can't remember nothing.
And here we go, folks. Shout out to Stephanie. She'll watch the show later on.
First, little bits of trivia, and Zach alluded to this a little earlier, that the Pirates are starting to do things the right way, and they're starting to build their minor league system, and they made two pretty stunning picks in the first round of the draft, the entry draft this year. They had the number 9 pick in the draft this year, and they also had the number 14 pick in the draft. And they got the number 14. They got the number 9 pick in the draft from. They drafted a kid named Mark Apel last year, and he elected not to sign with the Pirates. He decided to go back to college for 1 more year, go back into the draft, and he became the first pick of the draft this year. And I don't know how much better off he is being drafted first this year or being drafted and signed by the Pirates last year, because the Pirates are an up-and-coming team and they've got a good quality minor league system. But he got picked by the Houston Astros. And the Houston Astros, well, we can smell their stink all the way from Houston. But so by getting that extra pick in the first round, the Pirates made two pretty stunning picks. And the first pick they made was a young gentleman named Austin Meadows, and he's from southern Georgia. And this kid is a legitimate 5-tool player. Okay, now we hear this.
Explain that to the folks.
We hear this term used all the time. And a 5-tool player. The 5 tools that they consider most valuable in baseball prospects are: do they hit for average? Can they hit for power? Do they have the ability to field? Do they have the ability to throw? And their speed. And Austin Meadows is probably one of the 2 best hitters in the draft this year. The other one is another young man from southern Georgia. His name was Frazier, and he was actually signed by the Cleveland. He was signed by the Cleveland Indians. Okay. But the Pirates picked up this Austin Meadows at the number 9 pick, and all the baseball experts say it was a steal getting him with the number 9 pick. They never expected him to be there. Who they expected the Pirates to take with the number 9 pick was a kid named Reese McGuire. Reese McGuire is the top-rated catcher in the draft, the best hitting catcher. He's a left-handed bat, and ironically enough, they didn't think he was going to be available at the number 9 pick. The Pirates got him with the number 14 pick. So with the 2 picks in the first round this year, the Pirates really did something to add to the fielding prospects because for the last few years, the Pirates have been stockpiling pitchers. So, that's, I think, some pretty interesting information. Also, some other baseball trivia I'd like to throw out. On June the 11th, 1981, Pete Rose got his 3,630th base hit. That tied him for the National League record for most hits in the National League with Stan Musial.
Wow.
And Stan Musial, well, Pete Rose went on to pass that record up, but Stan Musial, the thing about Stan Musial that was so interesting was Stan Musial had 1,815 hits at home, 1,815 hits on the road.
That's
He is
amazing.
the absolute picture of consistency.
Yeah.
Next, last week I mentioned about Don Drysdale, how he threw six complete shutout games.
Like 56 innings or something like it was.
In June 11th, 1932, I believe, or it might have been 1933. No, it's 1938. Johnny Vandermeer completed pitching his second consecutive no-hitter.
Hall of Famer.
Okay, so that is, I found, as an amazing fact as throwing 6 complete shutouts. And on June 10th, this one I put out on Facebook yesterday for my friend Alan because he's the Babe Ruth aficionado.
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth hit his 120th home run on.
Hold it, we might be getting a call. This is what we were waiting for.
Go ahead, I can wait.
Excuse me, Chip.
No, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello,
Who is this?
Rod Solfa.
The champion. The NBA, the NABA champion who brought the belt to our show at Sip Sports Bar.
No, that's not him. It's just Rod Solfa.
Lightning Rod, what's happening, baby?
Hey, Rod, thanks for calling the show. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind is August 3rd right now. These fights we got going on down at the 31st Street Studios in the Strip. That's where they film all the movies that are coming in and have been coming in. And we got 3 10-round title fights planned for that night, including myself, Jason Bergman, and the Pittsburgh kid himself, Paul Spadafora.
No.
Oh, man! Oh, man! Woo!
You got to let us cheer a little. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be pretty cool. Weather permitting, we're going to do it outside in the back lot down there, which is a really cool setup with a drive-in movie screen on the wall.
Really?
Projecting the fights. It'll be a pay-per-view fight on Go Fight Live, and worst case scenario, it'll be pay-per-view and broadcast live the next not live, but broadcast delayed on.
Yeah, tape delay then.
Yeah, on Comcast, the Comcast channel. But we're working a deal right now. We might be able to get Root Sports on board to play it the next day.
That is fantastic. Rod, thanks for this information. What else do you have for us? Because this is great. This is record setting. It's never happened on BPTV. We thank you for calling in. What else is going on? So it's 3 champs or 3 title fights, and then how many other fights will there be?
There will be, I think, a total of 8 fights, and even the undercard fights are looking really good. I'm supposed to talk with Sammy Vasquez's dad today about getting him on, so he'll probably be on in an 8-round fight.
Great.
Also, we got Scott Elford, who's 2-0 from the area, going to fight Keen Dalton, who's from Pittsburgh, who's also 2-0.
That'll be a
So
good fight.
you have 2 young undefeated guys fighting each other both from Pittsburgh.
Great.
Also, on that last show that you guys missed out on, because I heard you guys tried saying that you drove up there, but everybody knows you didn't really drive up there.
Hey, Rod. You have to watch the tape because you got 2 laughing hyenas there. And I take offense to that because I was the passenger in that vehicle. I never had a longer ride in my life to Cal U. And a guy that graduated from Cal U with multiple degrees.
General Studies.
Right.
He was busy studying generals.
Matter of fact, we were scratching at the glass trying to get in, and the lady goes, who are you even asking about? And I said, if you don't know the champion, Rod Solka, then we aren't even going to get in the house. And she said, sir, there's nothing in the will call for you.
There was a reason why they didn't know who you were talking about, is because you were scratching on the glass at McDonald's drive-thru.
Hey. Hold on a second.
Good shot, Ron. Good shot.
That's a great shot, but with both of us,
He's a great counterpuncher.
both of us have. Hold it, I didn't finish
Hey,
it.
Rod, I'm going to come clean. We was at KFC.
Outside the Homewood Rusty Motor Ring.
Hold it, we were in Elizabeth. That's where we were. We thought there was a fight at your old house.
Fred Sanford. It's the big one, Elizabeth. It's the big one.
Hey, well, it's April. It's going to be August 3rd. So hopefully, man, we get BPTV and these gentlemen down there, Rod.
Oh, yeah. We're going to represent.
Well,
Yeah, for sure.
Rod's just kidding about our reputation and showing up out there, but it was a nice journey, and it was a nice night. And the way they redid the campus, Smoking Jim didn't remember any of that. And he said the fountains were beautiful there. When would you ever have fountains at Cal U?
He doesn't remember much of his college days.
That's true.
He did take me up to the playing field, Rod. He took me up to where they play football. He goes, I think it's up the hill over there. And he goes, Al, can you believe we used to have to run that hill? So, hey, Rod, we'll discuss that. But what else is happening with this that we can help you with promoting? If you get some flyers or things, we'll promote that till August 3rd. And,
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have them. I'm hoping to have them in hand next week. At the latest, it'll be the week after. But
okay.
like I said, we got 3. I'll be defending the NABA title, and I may be fighting for an IBO title as well.
Well, aren't you in the top 15 now? So that gets you into the mix with the rest of these guys, so you can move on up.
Yeah. They got me in the WBA. They got me ranked in there now, which is good. And
Congratulations, Rod. Hey, I know you have a conflict with schedules, but we'd love to have you back on the show, even if you come in around 8:15, if that would be possible sometime.
Yeah, I could make it when it gets closer to the fight and I take off from work. I can definitely do it then, but I work 3 to 11 out there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
Well, you can't come out to see us on a lunch break
What
then.
time do you train, Rod?
After 11.
I train in the mornings up at Cal U. I train up there about 10 in the morning, and then I go to work. On days I go to work, I go to the gym at about 11:30 at night. I go to the fitness gym and work out again. And on days I don't work, I do 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon.
We may come up and at Buzzy's gym. We may come up one morning and check you out.
Definitely got to go
we're
up there and check out Buzzy.
Paul's up there. We got another kid in the camp with us. He's a 4-round fighter, but he's a tough kid. He's from out of town. He's staying up there, and then I'm up there as well. So there'll be people up there. And let me know, and I'll try to get some of these other guys up. But and it's looking like I got Paul a pretty good fight here. Like if he wins this fight, he might be in a world title fight his next fight.
Really, that is great.
Great news.
Very good.
Who's your sparring partner, Jose?
I'm up there. I pretty much spar with Paul, and then this other kid that we have up there, he's around our weight, and then there's another kid that we're bringing up from North Carolina. He's 9-0 at lightweight, so he'll be up there to work. So we'll have good sparring, and then plus all the local guys. I mean, all these local amateurs are tough, good fighters. So we get everybody in there, and it should be. I mean, it should be a pretty awesome event out there. They're doing like an all-day thing too. They're gonna have a battle of the bands during the day that's free to the public. So they're gonna have like a cook-off and a battle of the bands from noon until whatever time. Then they're gonna close it down and then have everybody come in for the fights. So you can go during the day down there too for free and check out the bands and the food and all that stuff. And it should be a good time.
Do you want us part of it, buddy?
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, you guys will definitely be down there.
All right.
Okay. 'cause
Well, it wasn't blowing
couldn't take
smoke
that-
up your asses. What?
I couldn't take that right hook you hit me with right here on the phone, Rod. You have to see it knock me for a little bit of a loop. I'm sort of dizzy right now.
He knows what your opponents feel like.
I knew you could pack a punch there, buddy. I'm one of your biggest fans here, and we'd love to be a part of it, and we love to promote you guys. For the people that don't know Rod and haven't seen him on our show, he's just a first-class individual. He's a hard-working guy,
Absolutely.
a family man.
Absolutely.
He did move to South Park for all you people in Bethel Park. He's not in Elizabeth. I do understand that. I played dumb once on the show, and Rod doesn't like when I'm dumb here, so I'm going to try to tell you how it is. He does have a sarcastic sense of humor, so we get along just fine. And, I appreciate it, Rod. Hey, thanks for calling in. You're one of the few phone callers we've had this year, and we could go on and on because we appreciate that. And anything else you want to say, and any closing remark here, and anything about getting the word out or whatever else you might want to promote. I'll give you another minute or so here, my friend.
It'll be on PABoxingEvents.com, and that's it. I appreciate you guys, and I just want to let you know that on Thursday, I will know if I'm having another little lightning rod. Or
That's what I was just gonna say. I
Whoa.
was expecting. I wanted him to say it.
It's already, I already know, Rod. It's going to be a boy. You don't make no girls, brother.
Hey.
Hey,
I hope you're right, man. I've been having dreams. I had 2 dreams it was a girl already. I feel like it's
no.
going to be a little bit.
Either way, it'll be good.
that's okay, Rod. Best
My
of
wife
luck to you.
scares me
Best
though,
of
because
luck.
my wife's so pretty. I'm scared to have a little girl. I'll just have to take off of work and sit at home with my pistol all day.
You only have to wait about 13 years.
Hey,
or
you
so.
won a couple title belts, and Brenner Contracting will guard your daughter for you.
There's another shameless promotion. Hey, Rod, best of luck to you. When
I
you find
appreciate
out, when you find out more, let us know. And
Absolutely.
we'd love to have you on the show anytime. You're welcome. Whenever you can get a few minutes in there, come on out.
Hey, Rod, you don't have to sit at home even if you have a girl with your pistol unless you move into Menneson.
Thanks again, Rod. You have a great night. And
Good luck with
stay
everything.
strong.
And your
Stay
family,
strong.
too.
I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later.
All right, take care.
What a great, that was a surprise. I thought Lil Z was calling on his phone. That don't sound
Chip,
like
that's
a
why I had to
phone.
interrupt. 'Cause-
I totally get it.
Yeah.
Totally get it. Totally get it.
Because normally,
He
folks,
didn't know. Smoking
also-
Jim didn't
hold it.
know.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I knew.
Chip didn't know.
I knew. I knew.
did you know?
I knew. I
Okay.
knew he was going to
Yeah.
be calling.
Okay,
But
because we had said it.
But I,
but-
yeah. What I wanted,
Y'all set
it
a
was
brother
good.
up.
It was good that Rod got to announce the the fights. I think it's very, very exciting. I think we need to dive into that, and we need to broadcast from there that night.
Yeah.
I think that would be so. Talk to
Ah,
Dave. Get
Aaron
talk to
Ward,
Aaron,
nobody
talk
was
to
madder.
Devin, whoever
Whether-
we got to talk to. Let's make this happen because that's
When y'all
a big-
find me, I'll be down there all day cracking ribs. They said
I already knew that. There's going to be a rib cook-off. I already knew Smoking Jim was going to be there all day. But I promised you guys. and
this
I-
is our
nobody
food
was-
segment. Folks, we're starting a new segment here. This
Nope.
is our food segment.
Nobody was more mad at California University in the locker room that you two gentlemen came all the way to Cal, whether you did or you didn't, or you had McDonald's or KFC, or wherever you guys were, the
We
Smoking
did.
Jim driving
Check.
in Monroeville, whatever, looking for that next gateway prospect.
Hold it.
But nobody
I was in the
was second
vehicle
to
with
me.
them.
Rod was mad, and
Yeah.
Rod was upset. So, and he said, when we get this back under our wing, we're getting you guys down there. So
Yeah.
he's a man of his
We're
word,
gonna
like
do
myself.
everything
and
we can to
going down on August 3rd. We're going back downtown, man. We're going to be in the city.
In the strip,
My
that's
city.
right.
Feels good to
Our
be home.
city. I'm a Pittsburgh boy. I don't know where I was born anymore.
Under Mercy Hospital.
These guys listen to half of what I say. It's tough being the oldest guy on this show. Jeez.
Pretty good looking
No,
guy
where
for
are we?
his age.
Well, thank you.
Where were you? We're going to finish the trivia
We got
section.
We have to
Couple-
finish it because I got interrupted.
And I kept losing
Just
my
so
train
you
of thought.
know.
Is Scott Boras the agent of any of the Pirates' current picks that they made this upcoming
I
draft?
do not know the answer to that, Zach.
Okay, that's a good
No,
question.
the agent for the new Pirates is Jay-Z.
But getting back to the trivia,
Let's finish the trivia.
June 10th, 1920,
I
Babe
remember that.
Ruth hit his 120th home run. The significance of that made him the all-time home run leader in Major League Baseball, a record which he held for 54 more years until the
That's it.
current home run champ, passed him, hammering Hank Aaron.
Current?
Yes, I said
And
current.
Chip's not.
And I'm a little
We're
biased
not
on
gonna
that.
we're not gonna recognize the juicers in the list.
No, we're not.
Not at this
No,
point.
no, we're not. We're not gonna recognize the juicers.
If he was a pirate, we would, because we want him to juice.
Also,
Tune in next Monday at Sip Sports Bowl, where I will be wearing a
well,
Pirates
you
Barry
know, I
Bonds
mean,
jersey.
so we're gonna mention the bum's name. You know, what isn't he? Why does he have to go to San Francisco and start juicing? He got that lollipop of a left arm. He couldn't throw out Sid Green. Okay, Pirates would have gone to the World Series. Why weren't you juicing then, you bum?
Well, it's funny how
They hadn't perfected it yet until Mark McGuire.
No, they had it working
So
pretty
anyhow,
well.
one last
We could
up
get
in the
this one
trivia.
in.
June
What
11th,
could it be?
1990. Nolan Ryan threw his record 6th no-hitter.
I thought he had 7.
He threw his 6th. His 7th he threw on May 1st, 1991.
Back-to-back years.
All this with no notes.
All this
That's
with no
incredible.
notes. But, you know, little hats off, because I do believe that Nolan Ryan is the best pitcher that I ever saw pitch in my lifetime.
Yeah. And folks, now you know why that's one of my favorite times, because he threw Babe Ruth in, he had a champion Rod Salk in, and he remembered it all, folks. He's not getting older. He's getting better.
I'm telling you, and let's not forget, my mother was diagnosed with dementia and Alzheimer's. I guess it doesn't run in the family.
Knock on wood.
I don't know. That's your opinion. Wait a second.
We'll tune back in with Chip in about 15, 20 years and see what he still remembers in his trivia.
Definitely. And now we're missing Big Mike's question, so we're going to ignore that part.
Okay.
Big Mike's out of here. But we do have some other boxing that I wanted to bring up that we announced on our show last night. We had, I'll let Little Z, I'm serving it up for him, about a boxing match that's going to happen out of state.
Oh, yeah, down in
With
Mountain
your
View.
team.
Chicago.
No, I'm going Chicago.
Oh, we're going to Chicago.
I'm
We're
going
to
like
Blue
the
Bash.
Blues Brothers.
Okay,
We're
well
going
we're so engulfed in boxing here at Pittsburgh Sportsline and myself, so it's hard to.
I'm trying to
remember. We
walk
got
you
so
around
many
the
fights.
block because we had Terry made a phone call to
Yes.
the Lubash team.
Team
And you-
Lubash, yes, Jesse Lubash, the future, as I made up that name many years ago at a Pulse Battle 4 fight down at the, I believe that's down at Heinz Field at the tent when they had boxing matches
okay.
outside of the field at the tent, and Paul was on the
Boy,
court.
you were very young then,
Nah,
Still had a full beard.
still had a full beard.
since 9.
But yeah,
And look at that shot of him. He looks like a movie star.
Yeah, he does.
George, look at that picture he's got there.
high definition, folks.
Don't do that.
BPTV. So at the end of August, Jesse the Future Lubash has a fight on a card, an IBF card, super lightweight championship bout, I believe. And he hasn't been in the ring for a while now, so I'm pretty excited to get him back in the ring. He's a fan of the show, good friend of mine, good friend of the family's. So he says hi to everybody. He's over in Chicago.
Hello
so
back to
he wanted
you.
to find a way to get me to come out to Chicago. Well, that was the way. So
That and a couple of deep dish pizzas.
Oh, now you're talking.
I didn't like the St. Valentine's Day
Chicago
massacre,
pizza.
so
No.
I'm very weary. I'm very weary when I travel out
Well,
west. Biggie didn't make it back from
Wait,
California.
the fight's not being held on Valentine's Day, so you're safe.
Hey,
Leave some free tickets in Chicago for Oprah and Louis Farrakhan. But hey, Jesse Lubash, nobody goes to the body like Jesse. Most complete, like you said, the problem about the future, most complete fighter you ever want to see. Getting banged to the body, to the head.
You know what? Maybe we
Great,
can
great
get
fighter.
BPTV to go out there.
we will take it on the road, folks, like the Blues Brothers, because I don't really like to fly. I'm like,
Wait
We're
a
on a
minute.
mission.
He
I
couldn't
hate to
find
fly.
Cal U.
But I'll be there. I'll
Yeah,
be there.
Hold it, wait. If you
I'll
don't
be
know
there.
Brenner Contracting, not only can he provide security, not only can he remodel your kitchen, not only can he put a roof on, not only does he do plumbing, but he can chauffeur the BPTV sports team out to Chicago. You heard it
If
first.
Jesse fights, we'll go to Chicago and watch Jesse fight.
Well, Randall Wells from Brick City over there in Chicago, so we can go there.
Shout out to D Wade and the Miami Heat playing tonight. Hopefully, LeBron serves up Tiago Splinter with another block at the rim.
Do you think they? Do you think they can win tonight in San Antonio?
Oh yeah, I definitely think so. If the Bronchies playing the way he's playing, being more of a facilitator, playing that defense, running up and down, passing the ball. What happens is the Heat have so many good elements on the outside that when LeBron is able to penetrate and get all those guys to pinch in, he just kicks it back, and you have Ray Allen, Mike Miller, Shane Battier, whenever ready, he can pull some shots off too. But they have some sharp shooters down there in Miami, so when they're on point, they're hard to beat.
See, I'm with Little Z because I did predict Miami'd win. Whether I'm a fan of the players or not, I did predict that. Now, I'm not always right on my predictions.
Let's go Spurs.
There you go.
Blair got some good minutes. Shout out to DeWan Blair. Shenley, he got some good minutes at the end of that game.
City of Pittsburgh.
He was running up and down, putting in some.
Also, I'd like to make another
Garbage
bold
time.
prediction this week.
Here we go.
We got the U.S. Open coming up this week, and my prediction is Tiger Woods is not going to win another major.
No. I'm predicting he wins. I like taking the opposite.
Whether he wins
like
or
a
not,
good
he got the
tournament.
most wins ever as far as tournament wins, right?
Tournament wins, yes, he does.
That means
But the majors
something.
do mean something,
He also
too.
has
He
a
will
record
win a
in-
major
He
again.
also has a record in the PGA Tour that'll probably never be broken. Second to Smoking Jim, he has the most girlfriends on the tour. So that'll never be.
I got to do a
Professional
disclaimer.
Girlfriend Association.
Smoking Jim is retired from the dating scene for 5 years as an undefeated champion, and it's been on Champion TV for all of you that know Champion TV. You have to check it out wherever you can see it and whenever. And we don't know the schedule.
There's a picture of Brazil.
No, but Brazil was in the house. She's sitting next to George.
Yes, she
George is our cameraman. You've been doing an excellent job. We appreciate it. Thank you. How much time do we got left, George? Never mind. I think I got it.
You were doing a good job.
You know, we were talking about the Penguins before.
Let's
but
get on to that.
Let's talk about something else. Tomorrow night, the Stanley Cup Finals start, and you got 2 of the original 6 teams playing.
Yes.
I was hoping for 2 of the second 6 to play because
Yes.
the Los Angeles Kings and the Pittsburgh Penguins both came into the league in the same year, 67. Their first season was 1968.
More trivia from.
But
Chips on
you know,
Always.
you've got 2 of the original 6 playing, and the last time 2 of the original 6 in the National Hockey League played was in 1979. Okay,
Before your
it's
time,
been
Little Z.
it's been a few years, 34 years since, and I believe it was the New York Rangers and. Jesus! It might have been the Montreal Canadiens playing back then.
Yeah.
Well, they would have had to have been in the Eastern Conference. The alignment would have had to be.
They was
No, it was
different.
different.
There was different because they've added so many teams since they've changed. Because they're
You got to get the history book out.
Yeah, you know the NHL originally started out as 6 teams. In '67 they went up to 12 teams, and then gradually they added on, and then they merged with the WHA. There was, that was like, the NFL and the World Football League, or the
Well, that's
NFL
where
and the
Wayne
AFL.
Gretzky came from.
So Gretzky came out of the World Hockey Association. So they merged, and that's when the NHL became bigger, and they came up with the Adams and the Campbell Conference, and then now they become the Eastern and the Western.
Soon to change again. Who knows?
Well, let me ask you guys this: what do you think moving forward the Penguins should do in the offseason? Do you keep Bylsma? Do you get rid of Bylsma? Do you trade Fleury? Do you keep Fleury? Do you trade Malkin? Do you keep Malkin? What do you do?
Here's the thing. That's a really interesting dilemma to have to do. Everything is going to kind of be dependent on whether or not they keep Bylsma. That I guess we're going to find out the answer to 11 o'clock tomorrow. I mean, obviously, would want to keep Malkin. I mean, that goes without saying. But you've got Malkin and Letang who are going into their option years. So now is the time to sign them, because if you let them go through the season next year, they become free agents at the end of the year. Then you get.
Would you trade Chris Letang?
Being that they have so much young defensemen in their system right now, I would think he would be somebody that I would consider doing that too. I mean, he isn't a phenomenal player, but they're not going to be able to keep everybody. Everyone says they should keep Matt Cook, need to keep Pascal Dupuis.
I think they need to get rid of these guys and start over fresh with some.
I got to disagree. I got to jump in a little there. I disagree with cleaning house totally.
Not totally cleaning house, but
and here's the thing. It's like if you look at what the Steelers have done over the years, and even when Chuck Noll was the head coach, was they would have a bad year, but you wouldn't blow up the team, because you kept things intact. You made adjustments where they were needed to be made, and you kept the system intact. And ultimately, you continued to win year after year.
Come on, Chuck Noll's system was a winning system. Bylsma's system is a system of having one of the best rosters, the best regular seasons, and then just coming up short and not failing to make the adjustments that you need to make at critical junctures to win games.
But
You're fired.
But Zach, here's something I
And
want
a lot
you to
of people
consider.
say-
Here's something I want you to consider, and this is in Dan Bylsma's defense. You think about what he has gone through as the head coach of the Penguins over the last 4 years. You know, Sid Crosby being out for a year and a half with a head injury, losing Malkin for a season. I mean, look at all the players that he's lost to injury, and they have consistently won because of his system. Now, I think what ended up happening this year was they made changes to the team and they didn't get a chance to mesh because we found out more than anything, chemistry on a team is critical.
So it's Shiro's fault then.
I don't know if it's that. I just think, you know,
Accountability is everything to me.
it is, but you know what? There's a lot of different things to see. I mean, you know, looking at it, you know, you need to step back and get away from your emotions from the situation and look at it objectively, and then try to make a decision. And I think we're all still just too wound up and pissed off from losing to the Bruins because we knew that was a team that we should have beaten.
We got crushed by the Bruins.
And it stings. It stings.
It looked like the Wilkes-Barre
Penguins.
Penguins were in Boston playing against the Bruins.
You know, I mean, and you know what? I'm going up to New England here in about 3 weeks,
And you're gonna
and
hear
I'm
about
going to
it.
hear. Oh, you know, I'm going to hear about it, but that's okay. I mean, I'm a homer, and I'll take the abuse.
Hey, changing gears real quick. I don't want to forget this off
We're
the top
going
of
to
my
be
head.
running out of time, so
Tim-
change your gear.
Tim Tebow signed with the New England Patriots. So how does that make anybody feel about
You know what?
the circus is going to Foxborough?
He's the next Steve Young. Steve Young played with 3 different teams, the LA Express, Tampa Bay Bucks before he went to San Fran. Tebow's going to learn behind Hall of Famer Brady. He's 37-38. And if Brady gets hurt, like when Joe Montana got hurt, never get his job back. Go Tebow.
Wow.
Okay, I might have to tend to disagree with you, my friend Jim, and I do respect your talent as a talent evaluator. But from
Of
what
everything.
I have seen, Tim Tebow is a hack.
He was a great college player. Let's take nothing away from that man's college
But
career.
being a
One of the
couple-
all-time greatest. And he didn't run from hits either. That man put his shoulder. He
right.
won a high school football
He
game
is
with a
not-
broken leg.
He
Go on
is
YouTube.
not an NFL quarterback. He is not, and he's had so many people trying to work to help him. His footwork is
Who's the
horrible.
better
His
NFL
throwing
quarterback?
motion is horrible.
Tyler-
He has no accuracy.
Tyler Palko, Terrell Pryor, or Tim Tebow? Which one? Because one of them had played more snaps as a starting quarterback than Tim Tebow. Tyler Palko has.
Well, you know what? We're going to have to hold some of that for another week because I think we're down under 2 minutes here.
2-minute warning.
And if you want to give a short shout out, we only got about 20 seconds each, 30 seconds if you want to say. We've covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we did. It was a great show last night at Sip Sports Bar. Thanks to BPTV, all these gentlemen here for having me. Always happy to be here. Honored. Happy birthday, Mom. See you for dinner later.
Smoking Jim.
And I was with Tyler Pelko Saturday night. Me and Tyler and his dad hung out Saturday night. It was a good time. And Tyler Pelko.
We're at
Bob.
latitude
Shout out
40.
to Bob
Oh,
Palko.
close. Yeah, close.
All right, Chip, what else do you have?
Hey, I'm just excited about the Pirates. Wishing Jarrett Cole the best debut that he could possibly have. I'm also looking forward to welcoming Charlie Morton back into the starting rotation. It'll be happening soon, and I'm gonna enjoy the rest of the summer's worth of baseball.
And I drank that Kool-Aid, and I told you I got on the bandwagon earlier than I have in the last 14 years, Chip, thanks to you. And the grape Kool-Aid was sour, but it's awfully sweet right now. And I want to thank everybody for watching in the area. We're getting a lot of people. I ran into a gentleman at Aldi's, and he goes to me while I'm looking at the 19-cent bananas. He goes, I saw you on the tube. So we're getting fans everywhere. Thanks for watching. Dave Cable, thanks for the great job of editing our show last night and cleaning up a little bit of that. And with all the guests we have, I appreciate it. You put it right up so early. I blasted it out. People are watching it international, I heard. And we just appreciate Aaron Ward with keeping us straight on the show and doing fine camera work last night, as you can see, made us all look better than we are. Well, you got to come see us live at Sip Sports Bar next week. So thanks again. And here's the mini me, little Z. See him next week with the Buccos.
I'll have an eye patch next week in the studio.
Good luck, Jarrett Cole. Strike out the side 27 times. We can dream big. And thanks again for watching.